In this presentation, we will set up jobs within our new QuickBooks file. Here we are in our QuickBooks file for the job cost tracking work in process. We currently have the open windows open. You can open the open windows by selecting the view dropdown and the open windows list. Now, before we get into setting up the jobs, we want to think about the objective. What is our objective? To do that, we're going to look at our trusty Excel worksheet. We're going to be working this problem in Excel so we can see it basically all tied together on one sheet, as opposed to QuickBooks, which has it in multiple different sheets. So we can see the links, in other words, in Excel. So if we look at the example problem within Excel on the example tab, what is our objective? Our objective is going to be setting up the work in process account, tracking within this work in process account, the jobs that will be involved within it. So the work in process account is going to be kind of a parent account. Then we'll have the subsidiary account, that being the work in process account, in a similar way as we have accounts receivable with the subsidiary account broken out by customer. So here we have that $260,000 in work in process. To our job records, and we see that we have 3 jobs here that have been in process at some point in time: job 14, job 15, and job 16. Job 14 has been completed, and we're going to say it's shipped out, it's done. Job 15 is closed, so therefore no more activity should be in it in terms of costing, but it hasn't been shipped. And job 16 is open. Therefore, job 16 is the only one that's still in progress, and therefore that $260,000 matches the $260,000 here. This job, the job 15, has been completed, and therefore it is in the finished goods right here. So we want to be able to support this work in process account. How can we then do that in QuickBooks and set up kind of links to do this in a more easy fashion? Well, we're first going to have to set up the jobs. So I'm going to go back to QuickBooks and we're going to go to the Customer Center. I'm going to go to the Customer Center here. You can also go to the Customer Center with a drop-down menu up top and Customer Center. Now we're going to have to set up the jobs that go to an actual client or customer. So we're going to set up the customer, then we're going to set up the job. Note that we might have multiple jobs for one customer. So that's why we're going to basically set up the customer and then typically a job for that customer. And then we can have multiple jobs that are applied to the same customer. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to the drop down. I'm going to first set up a customer. Now I'm going to do this very simply. I'm not going to get a lot of detail on entering the customer. I'm just going to say this is going to be Smith. And this is going to be our customer. I just want to make it very clear. That's going to be the customer item. I'm going to say OK. Then we're going to set up the jobs. Now I'm going to set up 3 different jobs for Smith. So Smith is our primary customer. We have 3 jobs. Notice the jobs themselves could work very similarly, whether they're for the same customer or different types of customers. If we have 3 different customers and 3 jobs for different customers, we could set up the 3 different customers and the jobs related to them. I'm going to put them all into one customer now, so that we can see the 3 jobs as a subcategory of the one customer. To set up a job, I'm going to put my cursor on Smith here. I'm going to select the drop down up top and simply add a job. The only thing I'm going to add for the job is going to be the number here. Notice all the address and whatnot is going to be the same as for Smith, so it's going to be populated at the same for Smith because this will be a subcategory of Smith being the customer. Then I like to go to the job information. I'm not going to put the payment information and this information here. I'm just going to simply go down to the job information. We could put the description here, which would probably be a useful thing to do. The job type, we could have the job type. The thing I really want to note here is the status. Right now I have the status field as in progress. We opened it. It's going to be in progress. So that's the key point, because when the job is closed, we can say it's now closed. And that may help us with some of our reporting and our filtering type of fields. So that's all I'm going to do here. I'm going to say, OK. I'm going to do the same thing for job 15. Now, to do this, remember, don't be on job 14 and add a new job. If you do, like if I do that, if I go job or the new customer and add a job, and I want to say it's job 15, and then I say OK. Now I have it as a sub of job 14. That's not what I want. So I'm going to delete that before I put any activity into it. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to delete the customer job. I'm going to put my cursor on Smith, the actual customer, and then go back up to the new cost and jobs, add a job. That job then being job 15. So I'm going to say job 15. Then I'm going to go into the job information. We're going to go into the status, and we're going to go once again into in progress. And note, you might want more detail than just the number. You may want the address of where you put in the job, if it's a construction job or some other detail. Other than that, I would typically put a number and then some added detail at some point within the job. So then I'm going to say, okay. Then we're going to go to job 16. So once again, I'm going to put my cursor back on Smith. We're going to go to the company up top. We're going to go to new customer and job. We're going to add a job. And this one is going to be job 16. So 16 is going to be the job. And now we're going to say that we have the job information. Job information, we're going to say that this job is also in progress. So these are all in progress jobs. I'm going to say OK. So now if we go back to our Excel worksheet, we have our 3 jobs that are set up. Now note within our Excel worksheet, if I go to the first step of the Excel worksheet, we're putting this information into the system with 2 jobs that already have activity in them. We're going to have to add that activity into the jobs, and we're also going to be able to add the beginning balances that we have, which are reflected here in our account. So that's what we'll do in future presentations.